Hello there, and welcome to the world of Pokemon. But more importantly, welcome to the sunny shores of Alola. That's right, we are on location today. We are taking our very first field trip. Thank you so much to everybody who reviewed us on Flapple Podcast and Spotify. That's really help make the case to the principal to that it's worth it to put
people care.
Spend some budget, some of your ample budget on this on my class for once, so we can go
that in my letter campaign.
Yeah, I don't. Well, he was like, I wasn't gonna do it because of Mr. Curtis's letter campaign, but the review has really helped a lot. All right, so since we are here on vacation, well, not vacation, field trip, we still have
a vacation.
We still have a class we got to do. All right, I'm gonna make sure everybody's here. I have to call attendance to make sure that everybody's here in this classroom.
Hold on. I've got the updated roster here. Here you go, Professor.
Thank you. Oh, and I should say, we are here in Alola. We are in a very, very nice classroom study kind of setup.
Much better than yours back home.
I mean,
am I right?
We're not comparing.
Back in
we're
Kanto?
not competing.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, it is better though. Like it's something to think
I don't know
about.
where it doesn't have a white. He doesn't have like a chalkboard though, which is weird. He just has this weird like screen thing. I don't even know what.
That's a touch screen. Look at that.
That's crazy. They don't make touch screens.
That's the Maxo Touch 10,000. Do you see that?
It's like the size of the entire wall.
Yeah. That's like the whole front wall is that. That's wild. Why don't you have one?
Wow.
I did mention the budgeting issue.
I mean,
already.
we do knock holes in our walls on a regular occasion, though, so I don't know if that would be.
That is true. Bright. That is. Well, we don't do it. The Pokemon that we introduced do it. All right, let me go ahead and call attendance. Thank you for the updated sheet there, Mr. Curtis. Let's see here. The first one is Mr. Curtis.
Yep, right here, present.
Okay,
I've got my backpack.
Mark that.
I've got my sunscreen.
Yes. Okay. Well, I'm not asking for your life story. Okay.
I've got my my netting hat here.
Okay, that's cool. We're indoors right now, so.
And I've got.
You still have your full trench coat, though. You're wearing a full trench coat. It's so hot.
I do have my emergency trench coat.
I don't know how you're wearing that.
That's right.
All right, let me finish this attendance. Corbin. Corbin?
Yeah, that's me.
Yes.
That's me.
Okay, good, excellent. All right.
Look, listen. I'm a little annoyed. It's our first day here, and we're not even going to the beach. This is Alola. There's like 30,000 beaches, and we're sitting in a classroom. It's a nice classroom.
Yes.
But I'm not going to lie. But why aren't we at the beach now? Okay. I came here to party. I came here for luau's. This
is a party, Corbin. This is the learning party.
Yes. Well, all field trips require an educational aspect to it, and we still have a very important Pokemon that we need to talk about before we can indulge in the luxuries of the beautiful Alola region. So we still have to do this lesson. So we'll get that out of the way. And then we'll go ahead and we'll spend some time, doing some research at the beaches. Okay.
Right. Okay.
Now, Professor Palm is supposed to be here.
Hey guys, okay. How we doing? How's everything going?
Speak of the Palm, and he shall appear.
Yeah. How was the flight?
It's nice that you'll use the door of your own classroom, but
where's your Diglets?
You'll go through the floor of my classroom twice, I believe. Went through twice.
Jacob. I would never destroy these doors. These were harvested from the Trevenant Forest. These are expensive. I'm not going to break these down.
Come on, Jacob. Come on.
Yeah, you're right. It's not like my classroom that's made of practically cardboard and
it's plywood
and duct tape.
Exactly. Yo, I had $2 Poké fall out of my pocket when I was leaving. I just left it there because I assumed that would just pay for all the damage.
He is Professor Jacob.
It did actually go
Professor
a long way.
Palm is so money. He's so money.
He's so money.
He's
Thanks.
so money.
He's so money.
Appreciate it. I am so excited to have you all here to learn. Are you guys ready?
I have never been more ready to learn from you. Honestly,
I can't take this. I could take this opportunity to be upset that Corbin is actually excited for once to learn. But you know what? I'm gonna look at it as a good thing. All right, it's a good thing whenever a student is excited to learn. So. That's wonderful. I'm gonna jump right into it. But first, Professor Palm, thank you so much for bringing us here to your beautiful Alola region and setting us up in this wonderful classroom. It's pretty incredible. I mean, like,
so much better than yours.
But every classroom is wonderful that you're in, Professor.
Yeah, I mean, it's
not. It's better because it's aesthetically better, but it's also better because Professor Palm is here.
Okay.
Who is
I don't know about that.
right.
a very successful gentleman.
You're gonna make me blush through my tan, kid. Believe me, I appreciate it. But this is a brand new facility we opened up here. We broke ground like 3 years ago, but we just opened up a month ago. You guys are one of the first groups to get a chance. The local Alolan school children were the first, to be honest. They loved it here. I'm so glad I could bring you to this facility to show you all the amazing work we're doing. We had so many funds come in that this was the only way we knew how to
Okay,
do it.
so I'm gonna let you talk about your what this facility exactly is and what its purpose is. But first, let me introduce what Pokemon we're talking about today. It might make a little bit more sense why we decided to come now. Today, last week we learned about Grimer, the Sludge Pokemon. So, does anybody know what we're gonna talk about this week? Give you guys
Grosser.
a chance to guess.
It's grosser, isn't it?
This is
No, it's not Grosser. It is the
Gunk.
evolved form of Grimer, though.
Gunker.
I get the idea that it's just the same pile of disgusting filth, but just slightly larger.
Yes, the what you're describing
That
there,
is
Mr. Curtis,
accurate.
is
That is
Muck.
accurate.
We are learning about Muck today.
Oh.
So, Professor Palm, if you could please tell us what exactly this facility is and why it's so important.
So this facility is known as the Sludge Pond. The Sludge Pond was created to help give Muck a better chance of survival now that the world has realized that pollution is bad. It took several thousand years for humans to figure that out here, but somehow they did, and it had some consequences we didn't foresee. Muck, as we will learn today, are not doing so well in our cleaner, healthier environment, so we needed a place for them to survive, thrive, and potentially be useful to society without causing any more pollution or disease where they live. So we built the Sludge Pond as almost like a state park, a protective area for them to live in and not be chased out of town or not starve to death.
Wow.
That's
impressive.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Now,
As
Professor,
you know,
when you say
go ahead.
useful for society, what please elaborate on that. What use are these mucks serving here, other than to?
Well, here, this is also where Alola dumps about. Currently, we're at 30% of Alola's entire garbage is dumped to this area to feed them, and we just recently opened. We're hoping to really rank that up within the next decade or so, so we are up to 80, if not 90%.
Wait, so you
We
want
can
all
open
the
up more
trash here?
facilities.
You want it all here? Oh, okay.
Yes, we want all the trash here, as much as we can, so that way we can feed these animals, feed these organisms, and then we can help reduce any pollution that be on the island, making the beaches cleaner, making the area healthier, and bringing in more people to spend more money and grow our economy.
So aren't you afraid that this whole island, this facility would like stink a lot if it's just 80% of the whole island and the whole region's trash?
One of the reasons we spent so much on this classroom and many of the other rooms is because most of them are scent free. The air is circulated throughout the facility. The areas where the muck live and the people work are almost completely separate.
good.
There are areas where you can interact with the muck. You might not want to interact with all of them. Some of them have a bit of a nasty temper. Can't fix that. But it is, we give all the safety equipment. Everyone who works here comes equipped with the steel type Pokemon to give them a helping hand. Everything here is built for the safety of the staff and the help of the muck.
Wow.
Wow.
Truly inspiring stuff. Professor Jacob, what have you done in the last year?
Well, I spent most of that time.
He's taught you.
Trying,
Be
Okay,
kind.
you're right. I'm sorry. You're right. You're
I've
right.
been trying to, train the future generation of Pokemon trainers and researchers, i.e., you. But we all see how well that's going.
It's going
that-
great.
That explains your use of the Alolan Diglett the last time you were here. That steel type.
Yeah, I bring them along everywhere. But again, I'm not going to bust through any floors here. I am not paying that money.
I'm not even sure you could. These floors are pretty solid. I'm not
Yeah, these
sure
are
that you
these
could.
are really nice.
All right. So now that we know a little bit about why we're here, I think I would normally show you a muck, but it's a little bit too dangerous, I think, to have in the classroom, as we'll learn from these Pokedex entries. But I don't know, Professor Palm, is there any kind of viewing place we could go, kind of like room that we could go to get a look?
Do you have
at
a
the
picture that you could just like print out that you could give
Yeah,
to
maybe
us
a
or
picture would be
something?
cool.
Or
Yeah, I got a better idea. Hang on, let me go to the touch
Touch
board.
total. I thought that was a wall.
No, hang on. There we go.
Whoa!
All right, check it out.
Oh, whoa! Whoa!
Yeah, the walls open up. I love it. Again, it's an expensive room. There they are. There they are. Sludge Pond number 3.
Okay, all right. Just for other students listening, the whole right wall just completely opened up, and we could see inside of the muck like area where they're just feasting on all this trash. There's like a dozen of them at least. Holy crap!
Okay, so what we're looking at here is the Cantonian variant of muck, the most common form of muck. There is an Alolan form. But yeah, what do we notice? What can we tell here about muck? Maybe some differences between muck and Grimer. If you
How
can
thick is
see
this
any.
glass? Is it gonna like hold back if I like punch it or something? Like,
Don't.
Well, it's
what?
not glass. It's actually acrylic. Glass actually magnifies an image, so it makes the size look weird. Acrylic doesn't magnify. It's a 1-to-1 scale. Same thing used in aquarium. It's about a foot thick of acrylic.
oh, okay, so they're not gonna like try to get in here
That-
or anything.
That
Okay.
explains why we can't smell that awful smell. I mean, you could see the stink waves.
Yeah,
can.
it's not a pleasant odor.
It's
There's a
pretty
reason.
crazy.
While we are protecting them, we're not stupid. They reek.
Yeah.
So we're making sure that no one gets
Oh,
hurt.
they stink.
And they love it too. So that saying that they reek is like a compliment to
Mm-hmm.
mucks. So,
They love it.
but yeah, okay. So I mean, they look pretty similar to just a Grimer, right? Like there's not a huge difference here. Their mouth is bigger, probably, and they're just bigger in general. But it's still like a pile of nasty looking sludge or mud, right?
Yeah. I mean,
Basically.
a lot of people say that. Wait till you get a look at the Alolan ones.
Yeah. I mean, is there any way we could? Is there like a?
Yeah, let me get the other wall. Here you go.
The other wall,
okay.
he opens. It opens up to. Oh my God. Are
There
you
they are.
serious? Are you
Yeah, they're big.
serious?
It's amazing.
I will
That's
be
pretty-
honest.
pretty
You,
impressive.
you don't want to stare at them for too long. It's a bit trippy. It hurts the eyes.
Wow, look at all those
Yeah.
colors. They're much prettier to look at. Okay, so on the right side of the wall, you got the ugly mucks, and then the left side, you got these beautiful, like, it looks like it's from a candy factory. You know, that's really
Yeah, do not
cool.
eat that candy, kid.
Oh,
Trust me,
okay.
you do
All
not
right.
want
Fine.
to go near that.
Those flavor crystals are full of poison.
Yeah.
So do not.
I will say these Alolan ones, they don't seem quite as aggressive as the other
They're
ones.
actually
They're
pretty
not,
friendly. They honestly will come up to you, and due to their behavior, sometimes you can actually give them head pats, and it works pretty well.
No
They kind
kidding.
of like it. That tactile feel. They really go for it when we're working on training for them.
And we're not going to get sick
Make
if we
sure
touch
to wear
one.
gloves.
I mean, if you touch the crystals, yeah, you gonna get sick. But otherwise, again, with the proper equipment, almost any Pokemon can be
PPE.
hugged or given head pats.
Oh, that's really
Almost.
nice. I mean, hold on. I mean, besides the fact that, you know, this is cool, we get to see these two different versions of muck, I'm still a little bit perplexed about this facility in general. I mean, like, you got one wall that opens up, you got another wall that opens up, you have a giant, like, whole screen there, like the smart board. I mean, what's next? You're going to tell me that the roof opens up and you got a skylight?
That be it. No, we don't have any of that. The floor opens up to let us look at Sharpedo below. Check it out.
Holy crap! What?
Yeah.
Why do you even have that?
Honestly, this room is, well, that's another acrylic floor. We use this room to try and wine and dine the investors. As you can see, it has been quite useful.
I want to give you all of my money and I don't have any.
That's
Is
the
it as
spirit.
like a threatening mechanic? Or
No,
are you trying to-
it's more like educational
Okay,
experience.
this is too cool. All right, I'm gonna grab my phone. I'm gonna take a picture. I'm gonna start with the mucks on the right. Let me grab a picture. This is just.
Oh no, don't worry. Let me give you a better picture. Hold your nose. I'm gonna lower the acrylic. Hold your nose. You get a much clearer
Oh,
picture.
jeez.
Hang on.
Let me get some webbing. Hold on.
Okay,
hold on.
all right.
I gotta
I'm gonna
cover
grab my
mouth.
phone and hold on.
3,
Let me take a video.
2.
Let me take a video.
1.
Jesus.
Okay, I'll hold my breath.
I can smell it.
Taking a video. This is for the blog that I'm gonna do, so the students can see what's going on instead of just hearing about it. Hey everyone, here at the Alolan facility with Professor Palm. Say hi, Professor Palm. Here, okay.
Speed it up.
So here is the. Oh, I dropped it. No, I dropped
Too
my phone.
late.
No.
It's gone. It's gone.
Yeah, we're not. You're not getting that back, kid. Oh,
That's-
look, they're going for it. Look at them
Oh
go.
no! Don't eat it.
Oh, they're gonna. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's theirs now.
Oh no.
That's so. I mean, I did say to make sure you keep your phones in your pockets at all times during this field trip. So it's
Everyone
the
okay?
school is not liable.
Everyone okay?
for this technology?
I guess I'm just like, how am I gonna call my mom?
Oh, we'll get you a new one at the front desk. Not a great one, but at least a tourist phone, just to make sure your family's safe. I'm not going to replace
That's
it.
okay,
I didn't
Corbin.
know that was a
I
thing.
have to send hourly updates back to the principal. That was part of our rules,
Yeah.
so don't worry. She'll know that you're
Okay.
Okay, good. I want to make
Okay,
sure
all
of
right.
safety. So,
Now, can we please, Professor Palm? This has been very exciting, but can we please revert the classroom back to its normal, what it was before?
No, I like
guess?
the whole 360 view.
yeah, it can get pretty distracting. I got him. Hang on. Let's see. Wall 1, wall 2, and floor.
Well, bye, everybody. That Sharpedo is really freaking me out a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't like the Sharpedos. The Mucks were okay.
Occasionally,
Sharpedos,
you get to see a shiny one, but we don't control when they show up. They just kind of do.
yeah. What are the odds of that happening?
About 1 in 2,800.
Wow.
Give or take.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. All right. That was exciting. I think it's time now that we maybe calm down a little bit and start reading these Pokedex entries. All right. I'm gonna start like I always do in the Kanto region. Make sure everybody ready to take notes. Corbin.
Yeah, I'm still.
got my notes right here.
I'm shaking, but yeah,
okay.
let's do it.
Well, that's fine. Maybe that'll help you write faster.
Maybe.
All right. The first one here in the Kanto region says, thickly covered with a filthy, vile sludge. It is so toxic, even its footprints contain poison.
Ooh.
Yeah, I honestly did not expect them to have footprints.
Yeah, they have feet. Just they're not quite what you'd expect with feet, but they do have them. And yes, it is quite terrifying to watch this stuff work on almost any organic material.
Oh god, it sounds.
So
honestly
it's a footprint, not like a sludge trail.
They definitely leave a stream behind them.
I mean, it says footprints. I mean, maybe they're referring to the path that's left in their wake. I mean, if you look at the Pokedex, it doesn't have any footprints on record for them, so I don't know what it's talking about with footprints.
Me neither.
Yeah, trust me, it's not all Professor Oak's decks aren't always, there. Sorry.
Yeah, sometimes they're not quite as coherent as some of the other regions.
He is very senile.
He was certainly declining mentally as he
But
was
that,
starting.
hey,
to write these.
but that tenure, we can't. He's untouchable. We can't do anything about it.
I mean, he did kind of like start the whole like Pokedex community. So I mean, we do owe him a lot. Made a lot of great advancements. This guy. All right, the next entry here says smells so awful it can cause fainting. Through degeneration, it has lost its sense of smell.
Yeah, you guys got a whiff of that a little bit ago. Even though we were covering up, you can still feel the
little bit
burn. Yeah, it's not great stuff. That's why we have to use the acrylic.
Yeah,
So-
you could feel that in your sinuses. Ugh, it was not good.
Now, yeah, it's more of like a burning kind of like it's a burning sensation that somehow made its way into my brain. Like I could feel it in my brain.
Yeah,
It's like
it's vile
sniffing
stuff.
salts.
Chemical.
Vile stuff,
Yeah.
really.
Very much.
Now, it mentions that previously Mucks had the ability to smell, but they kind of like lost that over a certain amount of time.
That
Is
happens
that
quite a
true?
bit. So throughout the evolutionary process, you will occasionally have organisms that grow different body parts to survive, but you'll also have organisms lose body parts to survive. If you look
Like
at an
how-
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, like how Raichu loses its fingers.
Yeah,
like, Pikachu
or-
has fingers, but Raichu doesn't.
Or how an Arbok or an Ekans may have had legs in a previous form, but may have lost them over time. That's some other research
needs
I
them?
wanted to do, but this kind of took priority.
yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, this is the moneymaker right here, clearly.
Oh, it's not always about the money, but it does make it.
Yeah, well, when you have money, it's definitely not about the money.
Of
But
course, no.
When you don't have money, sometimes you gotta do things for that money.
I mean,
Yeah.
look, listen, Professor Jacob, I don't think you should be driven by money so much, okay? You always complain about your salary, and it's not
If I was
professional.
Corbin, if I was driven by money, I would not be in this classroom right now. I could tell you that much. This is not where the money is.
I don't know. I think this classroom and Professor
Well,
Palm's
this
success
okay,
makes
not
you want to
this
hustle a
classroom,
little bit.
literally.
For
I mean,
tax purposes, this is actually waste management.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Okay. So, Professor Palm, do you know how Grimers came to be? Do you know where Grimers come from?
According to one of the entries, I believe someone said X-rays from the moon. I have been arguing against that since college.
Okay.
Because
Oh,
that's
wow. Okay.
dumb.
Yeah.
I mean, it's in the Pokedex multiple times from multiple regions.
These are the rantings of mad men and women.
There are other Pokemon that are associated with the moon.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Clefairies came from the moon, but they are certainly in tune with it.
They are yes, so is the ocean, but the ocean doesn't feed off the X-rays. It's very, very dumb. It's kind of like the old idea that if you have an Absol nearby, danger is going to strike you. These are old habits that somehow leaked their way into academia.
It's an old wives' tale. It's a myth.
In the defense of those statements, Absol can sense when something bad's going to happen, and they will often go to where it's happening. So,
At which point we should have. When we were all feudal peasants rolling around in our own filth, we probably thought that, but now that we are a little bit more educated, we should probably remove that. Sorry.
Right.
A bit testy.
Right, well,
The Grimer pit, you kind of walked past it. We have a little Grimer pit as well. We use that for the kids to kind of get introduced to them when they first get here. We hear the X-ray thing a lot.
Does it have access to the moon so they can feed upon those nice X-rays?
Shut up.
It's in the Pokedex. I don't know what
We'll
to
hear
say.
no
I
more
don't know
about
what
your
to say.
superstitions.
Okay. I think because you may disbelieve it at the moment, Professor Palm, but I think you can't deny that a lot of research has been done, and if they say that's X-rays from the moon, then that's the leading theory, and we should go along with it until somebody proves otherwise.
Okay. The leading theory in this classroom is I can push this button and open the acrylic walls again.
Do it again. Do it again.
Don't do it. No. Somebody take that button away from him.
No,
it's
my
his
board.
class.
My board. No one
Yeah,
goes
it's
around.
It
his.
was my board.
I will fight you if you try to take it from him. You hear me?
You know the floor opens too, Professor. Let's keep going.
Like actually opens, like the acrylic too.
Yeah, I lied about it not being a threat.
Okay, it's a threat. All right, let's see here. I think we're on the last entry here from the Kanto region. Becomes indistinguishable if it hides in dirt. Touching its sludge-covered body causes horrible poisonings.
Ooh. Yeah, you do. Really? It's kind of strange that it can blend in with the dirt. I find that camouflage capability kind of interesting, and it makes sense given that they're so hated by so many people that they would try and camouflage. But yeah, if you touch one of these, no, you get to a hospital. Forget the antidote. Like, just get to a hospital. You do not want to do that.
Yeah, I mean, do you have, like, first aid stations around that might have some kind of neutralizing agent?
We have our own fully functional medical station in the facility. If we can't get to a hospital fast enough, we had to build that there for safety purposes.
It makes sense. Have you had any safety breaches at the facility yet?
None so far, because we drill the protocols over and over again. We want to make sure our staff safety is our number one concern. The Pokemon's is second. That's just something we have to work with when we're working with Pokemon. We've had close
And
calls.
what of the children? What of the children?
The children count as people. They're in the first category. They are always
Weirdly enough, children count as people.
Yes, children count as people for now.
All right, see, hear that, class? There has not been a single safety issue here yet. Let's try to keep that trend going.
I will
Why are
say-
you looking at me? Why are you looking at me when you say that?
You're not the first phone that has gone in there.
Okay, well, that's good. Yeah, that's exactly why I was looking at you, Corbin, because you've already dropped your phone somehow into the
Well,
pit.
you act like I'm just like a vessel of chaos. You know.
To be honest, they really like it. Like it's like an enrichment for them when they get a new piece of trash to kind of munch through and dissolve. We've had
Like a treat,
purses,
okay.
sunglasses,
Oh,
cell phones,
wow.
some guy's empty Pokeball because he was trying to catch one.
Oh, jeez, thank God it was empty.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Do you?
I got a question. Really quick.
Yes,
Just,
yes, Corbin.
not for you, Professor Palm. I got a question for you. When you guys use the bathroom, does it just go straight to the pit?
No, it doesn't go straight to the pit. I honestly, I thought that would be the smartest move to go, but apparently there are still sanitation laws about leaving human waste around, and considering that this island is still technically part of Alola, I'm not able to break this rule. I had to build a completely functional sewage system, even though I have a living sewage system to my left and to my right. It is mildly
Right.
infuriating, but it is the law.
Right. It just doesn't sound very ethical to have like a sewer pipe literally just going like human waste just going straight into a muck's mouth.
Yeah,
Like
but
the
they
sun-
love it.
They do
that's
actually
the thing,
love
they
it.
love it.
We just can't give it to them due to the restrictions in the area, which I understand why they're there. Just mildly infuriating.
We can't just have people running around pooping on mucks. You know what I
That
mean?
is true. You cannot have people pooping on mucks. Oh, we should add that as a T-shirt in the gift shop.
That's a great idea. Can I get some royalties from that?
No.
Okay.
You didn't say TM after it, so
I didn't trademark
you
it.
don't legally
It's
own
ours
it.
now.
TM,
Sorry, kid.
TM. No.
Too late now.
Oh, you want a TM? Sorry, all I got are sludge bombs.
Ah, that was clever. Clever.
Yeah.
Such a clever guy. All right, let's go ahead and read some more entries here. That does it for the Kanto region. Let's move on to the Johto region. They love to gather in smelly areas where sludge accumulates, making the stench around them even worse.
Yeah, they're drawn to it pretty well. They love going toward just about anything that reeks, which is why so many cities have such a major problem with them.
Hey, Mr. Curtis, have you ever had any in your house or around your house?
No,
You know-
no. The mucks and grimers are not allowed near the Mr. Curtis homestead.
And they know that, and they're like, well, we can't
And they
break the
know
law.
Yep. Nope.
So, okay, I have a question. Professor Palm, I have a question for you. So, if they love to gather in smelly areas, right? Like, how do they, if they don't smell, so how do they get to those areas? How do they know?
You know, that's actually a pretty excellent question. To be honest, they don't really need a nose to smell it. They found their own way. We honestly are still trying to piece it together. They obviously
interesting.
don't have a sense of smell, but there just must be something radiating. Maybe they can sense the bacterial load given off. Maybe there's some radiation coming off from certain very nasty garbage. We honestly don't know how they're finding it. Yeah, we honestly don't know.
What comes first, the smelly area or the muck? Am I
That was
right?
not funny.
It was a smelly area is the one that comes first.
We are debating that to
answer
this
your
day. That is still the discussion
Oh,
is ongoing.
sorry, I guess we don't know.
The joke is that professors that wherever the mucks go,
I think he gets it. I think we all understand the joke, Curtis. It's just not funny.
Next.
Okay, all right, next entry. Yeah, you guys should do that more often. When you're ready for the next entry, just hit me with a next, and then I'll move on.
Next.
All right. Its body is made of a powerful poison. Touching it accidentally will cause a fever that requires bed rest.
Hence the medical facility.
Yeah, a very, very important part of the facility, definitely. The next one says, as it moves, a very strong poison leaks from it, making the ground there barren for 3 years.
This is one of the reasons why we have to move them to this island specifically. If you leave a mucklock walking around too long, you're going to destroy some farmer's livelihood.
Yeah, that's not
Well,
good.
only for 3 years.
Another reasons why we should just let them go. Just we don't need them anymore.
Let 'em go?
Stinky.
Where?
They destroy.
Let them go, as in from this mortal coil.
Oh, you mean like kill
just
them?
let them. I'm not saying
not
kill
them.
them. No, I'm just.
Mr.
saying
Curtis has never endorsed killing a Pokemon.
Yeah, he has. He's
Right.
had the thirst for blood when he killed that Squirtle that one time, and now he wants more. He wants more blood.
No, I
Alleged.
was never convicted of killing any Squirtle. I don't know what you're talking about.
I saw.
But
I
yeah, no,
heard.
just no need to put so much effort into conservation. That's all I'm saying.
Well,
But,
he
I mean,
already spent a
in-
lot
in-
on this facility, so it's kind of too late now.
And in Professor Palm's defense, and I'm sure he'll say this too, they're very, very useful. I mean, we're looking for a way to get rid of our garbage, and then we have these garbage disposals ready and waiting. So,
And to
I
be perfectly
understand.
honest, even if they weren't useful, they shouldn't be eradicated just because they're inconveniencing us. Who are we to decide what lives to take just because we're smart? There are plenty of Pokemon that are plenty intelligent that have decided not to wipe us out. I mean, Arceus knows.
Alakazam could probably just with one small thought just get rid of all humans, but
It's
it
quite
doesn't.
honestly not our place to decide which Pokemon get to live and which ones don't. If we can do our best to help out which ones that we can, then awesome. If we can't help them after trying our best, then so be it. Again,
True.
Even
Yeah.
if they cause massive harm to humanity, as mucks certainly do.
we are smart enough to avoid that now. Back in the older days when most of our lives were agriculture, I could see the need to eradicate them. But nowadays, we can deal with them. We have trainers who go into the league with these things. Could you?
That is insane, by the way, that people train these Pokemon.
We
Yeah, it's
trained
wild.
them. We train them all the time. A couple of the people who come to work here have actually gone and asked and requested to have one of the Mucks as a personal Pokemon for themselves. And we've given them that right. It's great advertising.
That's true. That's a good point.
If I have them go to the league and start whooping things and they have a Professor Palm raised Muck, oh, it's great advertisement.
Yeah, you have your like logo somewhere on the Muck.
They
like,
don't need a logo. It's word of mouth, and it works out pretty
Word of
okay.
mouth.
We're still in the early stages.
Man, I need to get some Pokemon branding. What kind of
Yeah.
guys? What kind of Pokemon do you think would represent Professor Jacob pretty well? Am I
Hoppit.
serious?
Yeah.
The only
Yeah.
Did
the,
you say
the
hop?
only
Wait,
Pokemon.
whoa, did you say Hoppip?
No, just a call. Don't worry about it.
A Hoot Hoot. A Hoot Hoot would.
I do actually use Hoot Hoot
Feebas.
as a
That
The
cough. Darn
the
cough.
only Pokemon that is elegant and wonderful enough
Next.
to represent
Next.
Professor
Next.
Jacob
I want to hear what he has to
Is,
say. He's starting off very nice. I want to hear what he has to say.
is of course a shiny Ariados.
No,
Ew.
this was
All
dumb.
right.
This
Ew,
is
that's bad.
I should have listened to you, Corbin.
Next.
All right, next. All right, so that does it for the Johto region. Moving on to the Hoenn region.
My man, Birch. Let's go. Love
Yeah,
that
Yeah.
dude, Birch brings the heat. He really
He's a
does.
real one.
Cool dude. Wear sandals and shorts. Wish I could do that sometimes.
Yeah, but you can't let the Mucks get on those legs.
Yeah, no, lab conditions. Closed-toed shoes and long pants.
Yes, exactly. All right, the first one says, from Muck's body seeps a foul fluid that gives off a... this is how he describes them. It gives off a nose-bendingly horrible stench. Just one drop of this Pokemon's body fluid can turn a pool stagnant and rancid.
Yeah.
God.
That's a weird test that you did, Professor Birch, that you decided to... Well, what happens if I have a small drop of a Muck right here? I have a
He
pool.
did it in the local pool. He did it in his kid's local pool in the neighborhood.
Oh, that poor kid. No wonder she left home.
I imagine that the kid was removed from the pool.
No, Birch is a good dad and great professor. To be honest, that's actually a really good experiment to do. You want to see the effect this Pokemon has on water, because in a major city area, if people are drinking water in an area with muck, that could be a
Right.
catastrophe. So it's
Oh,
important
yeah.
to do these experiments in a pool, a large contained body of water. Would you rather him do it at a lake?
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
Actually,
No?
you know what?
I
Yeah.
don't know what the right answer is here.
Yeah, no, he's got to do it in a
I imagine you're right. You know what? I imagine that what he did was he did some tests where he used bodies of water increasing in size, and maybe starting from just like a bottle of water, right, and then putting a drop in, and then making an even like a cube full of water, right, and then like a tank, like a Salazzle tank that he just had, and then did it in there, and then he made like a calibration curve potentially to see. I doubt that he put it into an actual pool. That would be.
I don't know. It said pool.
A pool can also mean just a laboratory pool. Sometimes we use them in laboratory situations to detect swimming speeds of random Pokemon.
Okay, all right. This guy. Okay, apparently you have enough money to build an entire pool in your laboratory.
Oh, it's not mine. That's the that's the other professor down the way. That guy's wild. Wife's a great cook though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I bet.
okay. Okay, all
Cuckoo's
right.
a nice guy. Nice.
Next, all right. So I think I heard somebody say next, and let me go ahead and read the next one.
That was your head.
This Pokemon's favorite food is anything that is repugnantly filthy. In dirty towns where people think nothing of throwing away litter on the streets, muck are certain to gather.
This is accurate. This is pretty bad stuff, to be honest. Obviously, we want to protect the muck, but at the same time, if people are just leaving their garbage around, what do they expect for it? The garbage just sit there? No, you're going to attract Pokemon. And in Unova, trust me, you do not want to leave trash around because the trash comes back. But that's another story for another time.
That's yeah. We'll get to I believe Trubbish and Garbodor.
Yeah.
we'll get to them in
a few weeks.
Several years.
Yeah,
but we'll get there. We'll get there.
But in any case, yeah, no, pick up your garbage or you're going to get mucks and grimers.
Yeah, and then they have to hire muck and grimer exterminators. And...
We don't want to do
we
that.
don't exterminate. We actually do offer a service for collecting mucks. Obviously, we charge a fee because, to be honest, the only reason they're probably there is because you're dirty and you got to pay for that. So we.
How do you collect the mucks? What's your process there?
You understand what a Pokeball is, don't you?
Okay, so you just use a Pokeball. Okay.
They use a really big straw, Professor Jacob.
I was honestly really hoping for something like we have glass containers that they're completely inert. So
Do you know how much money I spent on the walls and the floor? I'm just gonna go to the Pokemart, get some balls, give them to Terry, the catcher. He's gonna go and get them for us, and then we'll move on.
Right.
Well, but you have to. Okay, but Terry must have like a good Pokemon.
Oh, Terry's got a Metagross. Terry throws down. Would have won in the league a while back if some kid with a red hat didn't beat the snot out of his confidence. Found him crying on the road, offered him a job.
Wow.
Well,
What a
there
good
you go.
story.
Wow, that's what I say about Professor Fong. He really preys on the down and out. I mean, he gives people a chance.
And that kid's getting paid way better than he would have been beating up bug trainers and lasses. Like, he's doing just fine.
he beating up their Pokemon, right? Not beating them up
No, I mean, yes.
in Pokemon battles.
Yes. The answer to whatever you just asked is yes.
Okay, great, excellent. All right, are we ready for the next entry?
Oh, yes, please.
Cool. Okay. It prefers warm and humid habitats, much like Alola. In the summertime, the toxic substances in its body intensify, making muck reek like putrid kitchen garbage.
He's such a wordsmith compared to Oak and some of the others. He crafts them so well.
It's a poem. It's art.
very specific.
I mean, listen, when you're writing something, you let the world, come to you when you're putting something together. I honestly love that he adds it.
It's like he was sitting in his kitchen and it's his, I don't know, maybe it's his like son's job to take out the trash, and he's writing it being like, man, it sure smells like a muck in here because of this putrid kitchen garbage.
Son, you're a genius, Scribbles. Just like, all right, we're done.
All right, there's one more here from the Hoenn region. It says, it is usually, it is usually undetectable because it blends in with the ground. Touching it can cause terrible poisoning.
Yeah,
Terrible.
We know
Again,
that.
that whole like blending into the ground thing is so interesting.
Yeah.
I love that it can actually do that. I don't know how well it would do in like a vegetated area, but if you're in some kind of like dirt field and it just seeped out from the ground to attack you or to take your garbage, that's not fun. Ugh.
Gross.
I know, my garbage, no, come back.
I mean, it might go for your garbage, but as you can see, its hands aren't exactly dexterous, so it might grab you along with it.
Oh, God, please, no.
It doesn't even really have fingers. It's just all kind of like
Yeah, no fingies, just death.
no fingers, just death. Oh, you should sell that. In your...
We already do. That one's trademarked.
Wait, that sells?
That sells to the teenage demographic. They want to be edgy, but by the end, they feel bad about buying
Right, the
it.
edgelords. They love that.
We get
Right.
some edgy kids. You made those skull punks that were graffitiing outside the airport when you landed? Yeah, they kill for that stuff.
Right.
I did. You know what? Now that you mention it, I do think I remember seeing. Sorry, what was the catchphrase again? Something about death.
Yeah, no fingies, only death.
no fingers, only death.
Fingies. No fingies, only
fingies.
death.
Fingies?
Fingies.
You wrote fingies?
I wrote They worked. It's the kids' slang, yo. Just figure it out. I don't know. These
This guy can
young
sell
trainers
anything.
are wild.
All right, let's move on to the Sinnoh region. There's only one here, and it says, a toxic fluid seeps from its body. The fluid instantly kills plants and trees on contact.
Yeah. Hence, again, the island. This place was a barren chunk of rock and just gristle and leftover Corsola branches. Like, there was nothing here. So that's why we were able to build.
Oh man, that's sad in its own right if you think about it.
Oh, they shed those branches all the time. They grow back in a week.
Okay. As long, I haven't read the entries on Corsola in a very long time, so I can't quite remember.
But yeah, no, you do not want this stuff coming in contact with any of your grass-type Pokemon. I do not even want to think about the number of Pokemon Center trips you have to do with that thing. Ugh.
Oh, no, thank you.
Yeah, imagine you're a gym leader, right? And your specialty is grass type Pokemon. You see somebody walking in with a Grimer or a Muck. At that point, I'd just be like, take the badge. I don't want any of this trouble.
Especially if you're like that poor sweet Erica down in Kanto. Oh, that poor girl. She built an entire botanical garden in her gym. Shame.
I know, and imagine somebody like comes in with a muck or something. The whole gym is ruined. Everything.
I'm sure. I haven't been down there recently, but I'm sure that there's a sign on it that says "Mucks not allowed."
I mean, it is their gym. They're allowed to make whatever rules they want.
Yeah, that is true. I feel like gym leaders should use that more often, right?
Yeah, I guess it goes, but it goes against the sport of it. That's kind of the issue. I mean, Erica wants to keep things pretty. She's a very nice girl, but like otherwise, yeah, I get it.
But I feel like, if you say like, oh, hey, no potions in this one, then you can kind of force the trainer to, think about their strategy a little bit differently. I think it's restrictive, yes, but I think it can also breed stronger trainers.
I will agree to disagree on this case, but let's focus back on it.
Okay,
if you have any grass types.
Well, I agree with Professor Jacob.
No, he's not always right. I agree with Professor Palm.
Yeah, well, Professor Palm also isn't always right.
Well, he's doing something right. Look at this room.
It's pretty amazing.
I will say, there's a lot of grass types that do have like a double typing with poison as well, which might give them some resistance to.
I wonder, has anybody seen like a Bulbasaur come in contact with a? Wait, is Bulbasaur poison type or is it?
Yes,
just
Bulbasaur
Venusaur
is a
when it gets-
grass and poison typing.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
I would think a professor would know that,
A lot of the times they listen. Okay, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I think the typing system is not the best way to be categorizing Pokemon. All right, I believe that we should be categorizing them by their egg groups. I think that's the way to do it, not this type garbage.
Now, here's the thing you should know. When a poison grass type comes in contact with a poison type, at least as well as it goes, it is no longer super effective and damaging and hurting these poor organisms, but it's not weakened either. It kind of just balances it out so it's a normal attack. Unless they have some way of absorbing poison. There are a few Pokemon out there that can just absorb poisonous attacks. It's weird. Or just not the effect.
I mean, unless you had something like a Pharaoh seed, that would probably be.
Oh, a steel grass Pokemon.
Yeah, something that can battle. Like, there's just some things that are just not going to work on. But anyway, yeah, don't.
Okay. And here's what I'm talking about, right? Like, steel type Pokemon are immune to poison.
Mostly.
Right? Poison moves.
There's one exception, but that's another story.
So you're telling me that if a Ferroseed,
Yes.
right, comes into contact with poison, like a Muck uses like Sludge Bomb or whatever on a Ferroseed, it's not just gonna eat through the parts of it that are grass?
Correct.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
Okay, so what you're suggesting, Professor Jacob, is that it should like eat through the grass parts, but then not affect the steel parts.
Yes, I suppose so.
You
Which
could
I
probably
believe
discuss
would-
it as some sort of coating around the body's limbs that you're not seeing. Many organisms come with transparent coatings that aren't visible to the human eye. Or it might be able to pull in the grass parts and hide them in a way that we haven't been able to catch them in the wild.
I could see that. That's the one that I would believe.
I do tend to Scotch guard my Spinnerack hatchlings when they first come
That's
out.
really smart. That's good
from
waterproofing for them. Although, to be honest, with Spinnerack eggs, I hope you're keeping the moisture up. You want to make sure with eggs like those, you definitely want to make sure that the moisture is high enough, good temperature. You know what? You're the expert on those. You know what you're doing. I'm not going to lecture you on those.
Oh yeah.
He is the foremost expert on Spinneracks. It's kind of interesting. You are breeding a desert form of them, so they can survive with zero water, which is insane to me.
God, that sounds terrifying. Next.
Yeah, they
Next.
They are the goal is the Spinnerack Prime, the pure and all powerful.
Next,
the
please.
unending Spinner.
I beg of you, next, please.
All right. That does it for the Sinnoh region. We actually have something here from the Unova region, which is a rare occurrence, so I will relish the opportunity to read.
Would you look at that?
I know. Normally they just copy exactly what they wrote in different regions.
To be honest, they do have
all
one
right.
of the largest cities in like all of the regions, so they might have a muck problem.
I imagine they've seen a couple of mucks. We've been there, right? It gets pretty gross.
Yeah, that was a good party. Anywho,
Anyways, the entry here says it's so stinky with an exclamation point.
Oh, okay.
Stinky.
This is kind of a qualitative observation, I guess. It's so stinky. Muck's body contains toxic elements, and any plant will wilt when it passes by.
so
Doesn't
not
need
even
to touch it.
touching. Not even
Passes
touching.
by.
Wow.
And
Jeez.
don't forget, it's so stinky.
It's so stinky. Oh
So
my god.
stinky, bye.
It's so stinky.
So
Who wrote
stinky.
this? Who wrote that?
A child.
It sounds like it.
Potentially.
What is going on in that region?
I don't know. They got a lot of problems over there. So that does it for the entries in the Nova region. There's nothing in the Kalos. And now there are entries here from the Alola region. The first one says, the stench it gives off will make your nose scrunch up. Still, there are Muck fans who think that's a good thing.
Oh, those lunatics are at the door at 9 a.m. sharp every day. I love those guys.
Yeah, I think I heard one yell, "Give us a sniff!" as we were walking in.
Yeah, they're a little strange.
Yeah, Sniffy. I'm sure he has a name, but the staff calls him Sniffy. Yeah, he's here every day. He's Sniffy. Don't worry about it.
Don't talk about
He's
Sniffy.
harmless. He's harmless. Yes, he is single.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, this just goes to show that every single Pokemon out there has a fan. I mean,
every
it's
single
crazy.
one.
All
I
of
think
them.
there are people who also loved Gloom's smell. There's some
yeah.
smellophiles out there. They
Oh
love
yes,
scent
there
stuff.
definitely. There's always one or two, and if you can capitalize on it, you can make a fine funding.
That's what it's all about, am I right? Hustle and grind.
Maybe I should start
Hustle and grimer.
Okay, well, it wasn't that funny there. Corbin. You don't have to. Okay.
I can open the floors if you don't laugh.
Oh, man. That was good. That was really good.
The floor
That's
is paying.
actually Mr. Kurtz's normal laugh.
The floor is paying for itself.
All right, the next one here says, after recent environmental improvements, this Pokemon is now hardly seen at all. People speculate that it may go extinct at some point.
Yeah.
Although I imagine not if Professor
Not-
Palm has anything to say about
I
it.
was about to say the same thing, Professor. You read my mind.
Not on his watch. Our hero, honestly. Not all heroes wear capes, but, I mean, hey, a lab coat counts, am I right?
I mean, if you button it up right, it becomes a cape. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good thing the environment's being cleaned, though. It's a great thing. More Pokemon can come back, less can go extinct. There might even be whole new Pokemon we've never seen before who become more active and come out more. There might be entirely new grass types that come out now because we no longer have the garbage that we used to have. But at the same time, these Mucks are sentient creatures. They're just trying to survive. They're not doing anything out of malice. They're doing it out of starvation.
Yeah. They're just
they-
homies.
I mean, you don't want to give them a hug, but at the same time, I can't bear to watch them die. And the fact that they can be useful
Right.
to society is just icing on the cake at this point.
Well, you are making a monumental difference, Professor Palm. Don't let anybody tell you
We hope
otherwise.
so. We hope so. Anything else? Did you want to read the other ones?
Yeah, there's two more actually. And this one, I believe, might it doesn't mention you by name, but I think it had you in mind when it was written. It says, their food sources have decreased and their numbers have declined sharply. Sludge ponds are being built to prevent their extinction.
Yeah,
There you
we're
go.
one of them. We're one of them.
you
There are a
go.
couple of other people's opening ground. There was the test site on the other side of the islands, but no, we are definitely the newer one out there. So we've been learning from the mistakes of the other ones, trying to build our own thing, but it's a team effort. It's a team effort.
Right. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
All right, there's one last one here from the Alola region. It says, because they scatter germs everywhere, they have long been targeted for extermination, leading to a steep decline in their population.
That's,
Right, we knew that.
Yeah, that's hurtful.
It's a shame.
The eradication, the extermination is just unnecessary. We
Yeah.
literally have... Look, if I pull out my pockets right now, I have 3 Pokeballs just sitting there. We don't need to exterminate them. We can just catch them. It's not
And
a
bring
big
them here and give them poop to eat.
No, not poop.
Like, it's quite easy to build a sludge pond. You could get rid of your entire garbage problem in any major city with some of these sludge pools. Are they pleasant to be around? No. They smell. But with enough technology and enough Pokemon help, you can do almost anything, honestly.
True, that is true.
True.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing more of these pop up in like larger cities. You know, in
I'd love it. I would love it.
Or, in Kalos or in Unova. I mean, it certainly would happen. Probably not in Kanto. I mean, we're pretty clean in Kanto. We're pretty conscious about cleaning up our cities and stuff. So
I've seen
I
your
don't know.
power plant. I've been to your power plant.
Well, I mean, that's a Cerulean City issue. All right?
Well, that's the
they're
Kanto
doing it.
region, and they need to step it up.
Okay, and apart from that's the exception that proves the rule, as far as I'm concerned.
All right, so now to my Technicolor friends. I'll be honest.
Before
go ahead.
Before you move on to the Alola muck, there are 2 unique entries here that come to us from specific trainers' Pokedexes. For some reason, their Pokedexes read differently.
Yes,
they are about the Cantonian muck. So I'm just gonna get those out of the way, and then we will move on to your good buddy Alolan muck. All right.
Okay.
All right. The first one comes to us from Ash's Pokedex. It says, Muck, Grimer's evolved form. Use extreme caution as its slimy form contains poison.
Just
It's kind of mean, right? It's slimy form.
Yeah.
All right. And then the last one here comes to us from Dawn's Pokedex. It says, Muck, the Sludge Pokemon. A horribly toxic liquid seeps out of its body. I like those. It really just those Pokedexes kind of just gave them the need to know information, right? Don't touch this Pokemon. It's got some nasty gunk coming out of it.
Yeah, it's not. Excuse me. Yeah, it's not great. I can understand people wanting to eradicate them. I understand why they do it, but we are no longer men and women in caves banging sticks hoping the Raichus make thunderstorms and make rain. We are smarter.
That works, though.
I don't know. I've heard Mr. Curtis do that a couple times on the
It
weekends.
can work, but we're smarter than that. We can do better.
All right. You can. I will here on my notes and my Pokedex here, Professor Palm. I will allow you to go ahead and read the Alolan muck entries.
Oh, don't worry. I have the board for that. Hang on. Let's pop that on.
Oh, that's so cool. Look at that
jeez.
board.
Okay, well, that's some good resolution, I guess.
The garbage it eats causes continuous chemical changes in its body, which produces its exceedingly vivid colorations. May I just say, beautiful to look at. There have been so many artists who've put that to work, and they can't ever get it right because a painting's always going to hold still. Just beautiful to look at.
I don't know. You're using pretty cool motion graphics right now, and it's very pleasing to the eye.
Yeah. But again, that costs money. You just can't get it right in a painting or a photograph. It has to be a video or a GIF.
Right.
Professor Palm, does the food or garbage that they eat change what their colors are? Will you see different colorations based on the different garbage that they ate?
Yeah, occasionally when we get something from the hospital, the medical waste can get some pretty gnarly colorations, some darker blues. If you're lucky enough to get some truly gnarly stuff from one of the power plants, like some truly nasty stuff, almost like they glow. It's fascinating stuff.
Oh, like an old battery or something? That would be
Like
kinda
old
cool.
car batteries are fun. Car batteries, when they eat them, they kind of fizzle and pop like popcorn, and then they got a nice
Ooh.
color too. It's fun.
That'd be fun.
Different acids. If you give them like bleach versus sulfuric acid, you can get different colorations there. If you give them both, they actually, balance out because the high pH and the low pH kind of meets right in the middle. And
Well, that's cool.
The colors hold still, and it's
You
great.
can kind
I
of
love
make
it.
your own shiny muck, you know?
I mean, you can do whatever you want with them, honestly. They'll eat almost anything. So that's one of the fun enrichments we'll do for these organisms is we'll give them different poisons, like your phone.
Oh, yeah, I almost forgot about that.
Yeah, lithium batteries also go pop, but it's a little bit more fizzy.
Right.
Like Pop Rocks.
Yeah. Now, the next one is, while it is unexpectedly quiet and friendly, if it's not fed any trash for a while, it will smash its trainer's furnishings and eat up the fragments.
Ooh.
Okay.
That is
Wow.
that is not Muck's fault. Keep in mind, when you're raising a Pokemon, you have to take care of it. Are you going to get mad that the Charmander burned down the fridge when you forgot to feed it?
No.
Maybe, but it's your fault.
Yes.
You did it. You didn't feed him.
Yeah, it's on you.
He's hungry. Feed the Charmander. But no, they are actually quite friendly. They are still toxic sludge monsters. They're very kind. They don't want to bother anybody. They'll hang out with the Grimers. We'll sometimes get them to interact, and the playtime is just so sweet and fun, and it's great for postcards. But they're not going to try and be as violent as the Cantonian Mucks.
They are pretty violent.
Quite
sometimes.
sociable, these guys
Pretty
are.
aggressive.
Now, the other one we have, there are over 100 kinds of poison inside its body. Chemical reactions between different poisons are the source of its vitality. So all the different poisons and toxins we're feeding with them are also blending and mixing inside and making new toxins and new poisons, but the body doesn't leak them out. It just stays. It's contained.
Wow.
Providing energy for it seems.
Ingenious.
It's not even ingenious. It's just nature.
I mean, has there been any kind of attempt to try to characterize these reactions that are going on? It might be if it's enough to sustain life, it might be an interesting kind of reaction to try to emulate.
There are some ethical dilemmas in that you'd have to examine one while it was still alive, and also if you'd use any sort of anesthetic, it would just absorb the anesthetic as poison.
Yeah, can't do that.
That is true. What if we were to, I don't know, use some kind of X-rays? I hear the moon is giving out some pretty
Shut
good
up.
X-rays.
Yes.
It's a myth. It's fake
good
news.
thing to point out, Professor.
I tried to tell Professor Palm. I
I
tried
will
to tell
open
him.
the floor.
We talked about Grimer last week. It was all
I
fake
will
news.
open the floor.
Open the floor. You'll go with me.
Oh, I won't go with you. I will always survive. I am Professor Palm, and I will always survive.
You are endless.
He has a way.
Yeah, I know. And my way are these floaties, actually. These floaties and this Sharpedo repellent. It's not always that dramatic, kids. Anyway, so on to the last one. What looks like fangs and claws are actually crystallized poison that will afflict you at a mere touch. So don't get too close. We had to add that warning, that comma and that warning at the end. We had to add those because somehow the warning of will afflict you with a touch were not enough to stop people from touching them.
I mean, hey, I was tempted when I saw one through the acrylic earlier. I mean, the first thing I thought was, I want to put one of those in my mouth. It looks like candy.
No, luckily,
I gotta get in there.
Mucks seem to be able to pull in and push out the crystals as needed. I believe they're retractable, so you're
nice.
able to touch them and give them pets with gloves and whatnot without them slashing you. But if they are agitated or if you bother them, even a friendly Pokemon can get upset. You want to
Right.
make sure you're not touching those crystals. We do not have the medical facilities here to treat you if you get full-on contacted with one of those claws. If you touch
Yikes.
one, we
Yeah.
can deal with it. If you get stabbed by one or poked by one,
You're dead.
maybe. Or a puddle. I don't know. Can a puddle technically be dead?
What if I were able to? Okay, so say one of them scratched Corbin with its crystal claws, right? What if Mr. Curtis were to get up there and just suck the poison out? Would that help him?
I'll have to get 2 bodies out of my facility?
I mean,
Okay,
yeah.
so
yeah.
no.
Don't suck out poison. Why would anyone think to do that? You're just going to absorb it.
Because you don't want to get it in the body, and so you suck it out, and then you
So you
and then
put
you
it in
spit
your
out.
own body?
Well, no, it's just in your mouth, and then you don't swallow
Your
it.
mouth
you
is
spit
your
it
body.
Out.
You absorb things through your mouth all the time.
Yeah, but you can spit it out quick enough.
You know what? You can tell that. Look, Professor Palm knows what he's talking about, and frankly, Professor
No, I'm
Jacob,
sure he does. I'm sure he does.
You're just saying foolish things today.
And that's
No,
the
no.
point of
It's
this
called a
facility.
discussion. all right?
Corbin.
Well, I'm just saying.
Hey,
I mean,
bro,
like,
come
you,
on.
You think
No,
you're
I
gonna
wasn't
suck
gonna give a
poison
quiz
out? You're gonna
today,
suck
but-
poison out, and that's gonna be fine. Like, come on, man. You know
listen,
better.
Well, now I'm
Listen,
not,
do that,
now I'm
everybody.
not gonna suck your poison out.
Relax.
It is one of the most
I don't have
common methods
poison.
of-
No one's got to suck my poison, so we're good. Curtis.
In any case, that does bring about everything we have on the Alolan Mucks. Now, do you guys have any questions about the Alolan Mucks? Anything else you want to know about aside from sucking poison?
I did already ask my question about the specific trash that they eat. Have you done any research on the crystals? Do you know what makes up those crystals?
Honestly, all the toxins seem to kind of pool together into the crystal. And so it's almost like a grab bag of what toxin is killing you.
Okay.
Yeah, so we
Cool,
know it's
cool.
the toxins are killing you. But yeah, it's just different ones. We honestly had a thought about selling the crystals as jewelry at one point until we realized that we could not reduce the potency of the poison in the crystals. So that became a non-starter.
Oh, I have a question, really quick.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Really
yes,
quick.
yes, Corbin. Yes.
Not for you. For
Well,
Professor
that's
Palm,
fine.
I have.
I'm still the professor. I'm still a teacher. All
Well,
right? I get
you're-
to call on who
you
has
know.
questions.
Okay. Well, my question is, do the
Yes, Corbin?
Does,
Yes,
does
I'm
the-
here.
Shut up, Curtis. Not you. No one's talking to you here. Okay.
That is true. Nobody's talking to you, Mr. Curtis.
All right. So do the Cantonian and Alolan Mucks get along with each other, or the Cantonian one's a little bit jealous that the Alolan ones look prettier?
Honestly, it's not jealousy. They try and eat each other.
Oh, that's fun.
They see each other as poisons and toxins. The Mucks are naturally going to be okay with their own Mucks, but when they come in contact with each other, they are going to be a bit more tenacious, to say the least. Honestly, I would give it more on the Alolan. The Alolan Mucks tend to have a bit more of an advantage in the fight, given that they have extra dark attacks to help deal more damage, whereas the poison generic Muck from Kanto probably won't have the abilities to counteract it. The Alolan Muck typically wins that fight. It's just not good idea to put them together. They're not going to get along fine.
Makes sense.
I gotcha. I guess that's why you keep them separate.
Yeah.
I actually have another question. So the reason that the Alolan Mucks look the way they do is because of the trash that they were eating from the Alola region. Is that correct?
That is to say, yeah, and any other trash we bring in. But yes, it came from the Alolan garbage.
So if you were to feed a Cantonian Muck the Alolan garbage, would it just turn into an Alolan Muck?
I don't believe it would turn into one. I believe it would produce an egg that is an Alolan Grimer. All right, so thank you guys so much for listening about the Alolan Muck again. It's one of my favorite Pokemon to discuss because it's so pretty, but it's also not nearly as violent as some people would think it is. They are not the most pleasant Pokemon, but as you can see from Sniffy out in the front and all the people who work here, we love these Pokemon, and we love that you came all the way out here to see them.
Of course.
Is there anything else we can do for you while you're here?
Oh, thank you for having us, Professor
Well,
Palm.
you know what? I think that's gonna do it for today's lesson. I normally do a quiz, but you know what? We're on a field trip, so I'm gonna say no puns.
Yes!
No.
What?
This is
Oh,
my
sorry.
facility, and I say we will have a quiz. We will have a
Okay,
one-question quiz.
I love a
One
pop quiz.
question.
Everybody sit back
First-
down. Sit back
That's
down.
the first sensible
One
thing
question
you've said
quiz.
all day, Professor.
I have to think of a good one. Give me a moment.
Oh my God! No! I didn't look. I just wanted to come here on vacation.
Okay.
I wanted
I know.
He's got it.
I know what I'll ask. So, your one and only question. How would you feel about coming over to my family's house for good old Alolan cooking and a beach night?
I would love nothing more.
That is the correct
you know,
answer. You're coming over
that's
to the
crazy.
family.
That's all I've ever wanted.
On
Yeah.
the flight over, Corbin was like, "God, I really hope that he invites us over for dinner and a beach night." And I was like, "I don't know if it's gonna happen. Don't get
I
your hopes
did.
up, but
The stars
but
have
look, here
aligned,
we
and that's
are.
what's happening.
Nah, you'll
This is
stay at
great.
the family estate. You'll stay at the family homestead for a day or two, and then you can head on back. But there's no need to come all the way here to my sludge pond and then not enjoy Alola. We have Sharpedo riding. We have all
That sounds
kinds of
dangerous.
different foods and berries. Oh, you can help us track down Yangooses and put them in Pokeballs and deliver them far away from there. God, I hate Yangooses.
I think we should be here for longer than a week, Professor.
Well, we don't really have the
I
funds
only
for
brought
that.
enough rations to last us a week.
Rations.
What do you mean
What?
rations?
What do you mean
Are you
rations?
not
They
gonna
have
eat my
food
wife's
here.
cooking?
They have food here, Curtis.
Well, of course. I mean, of course, we'll have Professor Palm's wife's cooking.
All right. I think it's time to wrap this class up. Thank you so much, everybody, for being present and listening and asking great questions for Professor Palm. I think you have shown off our school very, very well. If you students listening at home have any questions for me, Professor Jacob, feel free to send us a Gmail, which of course stands for Gengar Mail, at wwopokemon@gmail.com. If you have questions for Professor Palm, feel free to send those questions our way as well, and I can forward them to him. If you don't have Gengar Mail, that's perfectly fine. You can also find us on the Flying Pokemon themed social network site, Twitter. I am there at WWOPokemon as well. But that's going to do it for today's lesson. So, thank you so much for attending, and class is dismissed.
All right, let's go to the beach. Get your swimsuits. Come on, let's go. Let's go.
Come on, y'all.
Woo!
Ignore Sniffy. He's at the entrance. We'll just make a move.
Hello there, and welcome to After the World of Pokemon. So I'm going to break character here a little bit to say thank you so much to our wonderful guest, Lucas. You may know him as Professor Palm. Lucas, if you have anything to plug, anything that you're doing, anything that you're working on, please now take this time to plug it all you want.
No problem. I'll make it quick because your listeners they've listened to me talk enough. So I am one of the members of the Poke Science podcast. We have been a podcast for over 4 years where we talk about the science, the culture of the Pokemon world that draws from our own. Our belief is that Pokemon is an excellent learning tool for the world around us. We've talked about everything from the importance of Alolan Pokemon. We've talked about every new game that's come out since. We've brought up different cultures and backgrounds and history. We've done a lot of really cool stuff, and we'd love having you guys come in because you guys give us such great ideas, like normal type episodes with such a good suggestion. We recently did one on biomes as well. If you would like to check us out, You can look for us on Twitter on @PokemonScience. You can find us on Twitter under PokeScience. You can find us on Facebook on PokeScience. And you can find our podcast anywhere you can find your major podcasts. So Spotify, Apple, all that jazz. We're always listening. We always want to hear you guys' feedback. And I want to thank you guys for having me on the show. It's fun to kind of not be the real me and just kind of be this guy, who has money.
Everybody loves that fantasy.
Well, it's always a pleasure to have you. You're certainly a vibrant personality.
Thank you
More
very much.
vibrant than any of us. Do you want to take over? Do you want to take
Do
over?
you want to do this podcast for us all the time?
I have my own friends and my own podcast. You do your thing. Stay away.
Okay.
You don't want to manage 2 of them? Okay.
I'm good.
What?
I'm good.
That's
Okay.
fair. That's fair.
All right. Well, thank you again, Lucas. It was wonderful as always. Welcome to the World of Pokemon is a part of the Pokecasters Network.